Hey, everybody, we're live, and I want to thank everybody who took the time to watch my previous live stream. And I'm making this live stream in response to some comments that I happened to see on Facebook and social media regarding my vlog, that the fact that Oakland hasn't went after a Major League Baseball or football NFL expansion franchise, or for that matter, NBA, shows how far we've fallen. And so I posted over at a group called the Coalition for a Better Oakland, and got some interesting responses I wanted to share with you, and then provide my response to here. And I'm not going to bother putting them in the page and then scrolling down. Or you know what? Maybe I will. Okay, maybe I will, because it's more fun that way. All right. So I'll go and share the screen, and so that you can see what was said. I just have to make absolutely certain I'm lining this up correctly. Uh, and yeah, I got it. Ooh, yay me! All right. And here it is. It's added to the stage, and there it is. Um, and these are the responses. Okay. So first of all, uh, um, as you can tell, we have, if I scroll up a little bit here, uh, and like that, I believe, I thought that was the right one. Well, hold on a second. I thought I had the right one, but you know what? I moving this one, it's not moving. So it means I have to go to the other one. Yeah, the other one, which is this one. All right. And yeah. And so, all right. Yeah. So there we are. Okay. So we have a number of responses scrolling up there. And we'll start with Dan Thiemann. And Dan Thiemann writes, the MLB commissioner will not allow a team to play at the Coliseum. Now, my response to that is I disagree that the commissioner has taken a hard stance against any kind of proposed expansion team being at the Oakland Coliseum, because he's never put out that comment. What I'm saying is that the city of Oakland has not produced a proposal to have or form an expansion team. Yeah, I said that, form an expansion franchise to play at the Coliseum, but then comes with a financing plan, plan for a new facility, along with financing for that, for economic development around it, so that childcare, homelessness, Head Start, transportation, affordable housing, the problems that we always talk about, we make sure the money flows to them. I remind everybody watching here that the City of Oakland actually was on its way to producing just such an effective plan with the Oakland Athletics. But no one was minding the store when the West Oakland residents primarily were meeting to form this community benefits group, to the point where they were just throwing up ideas, throwing up, which became part of the plan. And no one said, hey, wait, how much does this cost? How much does that cost? And can we fully, afford to do that out of our tax increment money? And then on top of that, they didn't even know what the total cost was. So why did they do it? It was a good question. And why they did it the way they did it, in such a haphazard way, is something not talked about. So we have all of this work that was done for Howard Terminal that's literally on the shelf. No one's asking any questions. It should be in a special room in City Hall, that where someone can research it and then use it to form a better approach next time. And but that effort is not there, and that care is not there, and it can be done. Again, the reason why you have programs that are based on these sports facilities being built is because they attract many thousands of people at once. That's what a lot of people don't seem to understand, in an era where we always talk about economies of scale. That's just another way of saying, hey, look, there are a lot of people who want to do this thing, and we can make money from that. And in this instance, that money is used for social programs. Okay, so I completely disagree with you, Dan. Then Kanesh O'Neill says it's good that Oakland isn't wasting money on building a stadium for billionaire. But here's my point: why does the stadium have to be for billionaires as opposed to the community itself? There are ways to do it. The state of Tennessee and the city of Nashville, the primary financiers of the Tennessee Titans' beautiful new stadium, which will be ready next year, again at a cost of over $2 billion, and several times the size of its predecessor, what we now call Nissan Stadium. So it's a facility that will change Nashville and put it on the map, especially when Nashville holds a Super Bowl. So here we are in a position, Oakland, we've been on the outside looking in wistfully at all of the other cities around us, including San Francisco, having events that we want and can have. But what we do is we psychologically put ourselves in the position where we say, well, you know what? I want to be a part of it. Please pick me, pick me, pick me. The one time that we had an opportunity to land the Super Bowl was when I came to within 8 NFL votes of getting it. And what I learned then was just how much our people of our own city, and this goes all the way back to the late 90s, don't have it wrapped in their mind that we can do something. And that attitude exists today. All right. So, first of all, we have to have a can do attitude and stop the can't do. You all are damaging the city, Tony, with that attitude. Okay. I mean, and I'll get to what I'm saying in a second here, because Thomas Taylor wrote, because the city of Oakland will never build a modern professional sports stadium for an expansion team or even an existing team to occupy. And given what I said, it's not hard to see why. Okay. Oakland has a can't do attitude. We don't collectively believe we can do it. And it's hard to get the collective together because, hey, there's always somebody either at the top or the bottom that does something. In this case, with the A's and Howard Terminal, it was at the top that stops it. And we have to remember, as I've told a number of elected officials, you have it wrong. And I said this to my friend Nate Miley. I said, Nate, we're not in the sports business. Alameda County isn't in the sports business. You are in the facilities, construction, and management business. That goes for healthcare, that goes for conventions, that goes for sports. It's their facilities that allow people to effectively live their lives in ways that have to do with health and economic development. Alameda County has simply cut it off because you guys had issues with the city of Oakland, which on their face, Tony, were parochial. All right. They really were. I was there outside the Raiders building when Nate and Oakland Mayor Libby Schaff and others and Eric Grubman from the NFL were in there along with Mark Bourdain, who was president of the Raiders at the time. And then out of the meeting, the first thing Alameda County Supervisor, my good friend Nate Miley, does put out a press release saying, I don't want to work with the city of Oakland. Why was it so important for us to basically show our hindquarters to the world? We do it all the time. No one cares about our parochial stuff. And yet we act like that's the most important thing in the world. It's immature, and we need to stop doing it. Okay. We need to stop doing it because you say that Oakland has more important priorities like public safety, illegal dumping, and homelessness. Well, priorities for what? Gossip? Public safety. And current events would say that, hey, we haven't really gotten our public safety agenda correct and on point, right? Okay. And then illegal dumping. Okay, fine. New ordinance was passed basically to say, hey, look, if you dump, the penalties are higher. But how about subsidies for businesses and ways for them to store their dumping in effective areas and more effective ways of picking up the dumping? How about that? How about economic development? It helps these businesses by managing that problem for them. How about that? We don't spend money on economic development anymore. We don't do it. We don't use tax increment financing, even though it's usable. And when it's mentioned, it's always, oh yeah, that's Zinni's idea. Folks, this is an idea that was going back to 1947. As many as 341 municipal governments in California used it. So what's going on now that we only have 12? and the city of Oakland and the county of Alameda isn't one of them? That's ridiculous. And this is still a powerful tool. The mathematics are there, all right? If you bother to learn it and do it. We didn't. Oh, excuse me. We didn't until right after it became clear that the Athletics were off to Las Vegas. They were at the Nevada legislature signing a new deal for essentially the raison d'etre to move to the southern valley of Nevada. And then, under the quiet of night, it seems like Century Urban was directed to redo their wrong tax increment calculations, as I had said back in November of 2021, and actually even before that. I was yelling Lauren about it. He'll tell you. We talked about it, and guess what? They redid it correctly and uncovered $5 billion worth of revenue. You hear what I'm saying? $5 billion. All right. And even with the low ball estimate for increase in total in assessed value annually, they carved out $5 billion. If they had done it right, let's say, a 4% increase, it's $9 billion. Think about that, Tony. $9 billion that can then be applied to these problems that you say that you want to get rid of. And yet they're just gotten worse. Okay. That's economic development, Tony. That's how it works. All right. So those are my comments, all right, about my response to what you all have said. And I've got, I think someone here said thoughts on Dan Simon. I don't, in what sense? I don't know that I'm, if you say in what sense, I'll do a separate video on Dan Simon if I feel it's appropriate to do so. What I'm doing right now is I'm focused singularly on following up to a vlog that I made, and I've just done that. Okay, all right. So live long and prosper. God bless you. Subscribe to Zenny62 on YouTube and bookmark OaklandNewsOnline.com. Thank you.